That is a life-changing piece of sushi. That is pure wizardry.
This is so incredible. Right now I am at the Toyosu Fish Market. This is now the new fish market after it moved from Tsukiji in 2023. Right now everyone's wrapping up the workday. There's still so much fish being processed, cut. There's so many incredible delicacies all around. This is really interesting. So these are the first pieces that's cut from a tuna, and they can tell how fatty the tuna is going to be, how good and fresh and how delicious the tuna is going to be just by looking at these initial pieces. And what's really interesting is all the best seafood comes through Tokyo, and that's because wherever they catch the fish, the seafood around Japan, they know they're going to get the highest price by selling it in Tokyo. So that's why all the best catches, all the freshest, most delicious seafood comes here first. So the seafood you're getting in Tokyo is actually gonna be the best seafood you're gonna find in Japan, and that's also part of Inomei cuisine. The upstairs area is everything but fish. So you got kitchen utensils, different knives, there's kelp, there's nori, different spices, there's t-shirts. There's also a store that sells fermented products.
That is a very simple one, very basic.
Yeah.
This is made from the whole grain.
And I got a fermented rice drink from them. So flavorful. The flavor is so deep and rich, and it's very, very fragrant. It's like a lingering wheat scent that just lingers on your tongue. And this particular one, way lighter. Third floor looks like a ramen restaurant. Everything's laid out so beautifully. So back there was more fancier restaurants, and here's the food court. This is one of the most beautiful food courts you will ever see. Look at this. This is just stunning. Oh my gosh. I think that's a buffet. Yeah, it's a seafood buffet. I'm definitely coming back for that. Everything smells so good too. This is just like an overwhelmingly beautiful food court. Look at this. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to spend here today, so let's go see what else is available here. This is the second floor. A lot of little restaurants and food stalls. That's sweet potato ice cream. Some barbecue here. Arigatou gozaimasu. Dashi broth. Oh, so good. And then outside, there's tons of stalls, shops. Oh, this place smells good. Fish skewers. So this place that sells the fish skewers, the IU fish skewers, look at that line. I only have time to grab one or two food items. It's so hard to choose. This thing smelled really good when I was walking by it. It's a beef tendon rice bowl. Chunks of beef tendon with all that delicious juice it's cooked in. A couple of what looks like potatoes are actually konjac jelly. It just smells so good, couldn't resist. It's delicious. I feel like the ratio of beef to rice is a little unbalanced. The beef is just so tender and flavorful. I love the pieces with a little tendon, a little fat. Really good. Just wish there was more beef. And the first floor populated by more restaurants. These are more sit-down restaurants. And I get this place is very touristy and the prices are probably gonna reflect that, but it's just so cool. All right, so I had to rush and get over here for lunch. And lunch is gonna be clams. This place, besides being really popular for their sashimi bowl, this is also their signature dish, a bowl of clam porridge. And Oyama-san's family has been running this restaurant for over 130 years. And this started in the summertime when people would take leftover rice and miso and put clams inside it and make this. And these clams are asari clams, which are the same as Manila clams. On top, some nori, scallions underneath, rice, all soaked in clam broth. Oh, this is so crazy. This is so crazy. I mean, one sip of this broth, I felt a shiver going down my spine. In a full spoonful, I'm getting goosebumps. The rice, it's not soggy, it's not gooey, almost got an al dente texture to it, and every grain is just infused with this amazing miso flavor. Besides the miso, you taste that sweet, buttery flavor of the clams. Fresh clams, so beautifully sweet with a hint of brininess, and it goes so well with the rustic, earthy flavor of the miso. There's a little bit of pickles to kind of cleanse out your palate a little bit. Yeah, everything about this, the texture, the flavor, the texture of the rice is incredible. It just tastes like the most hearty, satisfying bowl of clam soup. What's even most amazing about this, about $5 US. And the set meal includes steamed eggs. And the steamed eggs also is stuffed with prawn and more clams. So light and airy with a little bit of clammy brininess. You gotta come try this out. $5.
Very low.
Unbelievable. And if you want, add a little chilies in here. This is so good. I actually never had anything like this before. Absolutely amazing. Now for some dessert, it's gotta be Kaki Cori. Shaved ice made with mineral water. And this place has tons of different flavors. This is a nanazuki, which is a pickled cucumber. Inside there's black sugar syrup, condensed milk on the top, a layer of cream cheese. It makes it look like it's the peak of Mount Fuji. Looks like caramelized walnut on top. Kaki Cori is and always will be the best shaved ice on this planet. Up in the middle of the Kaki Cori, and that's what makes it so cool. It's also just packed with ingredients. And the nanazuki is the pickled cucumber, so they got little bits and pieces inside. There's giant slices on top. It adds a very savory, crunchy element to the Kaki Cori. Oh, it's freaking amazing. Must eat whenever you're in Tokyo. And this is a fantastic place to get this. This place has some really interesting flavors. This is a carbonara Kaki Cori. It's very savory. I feel like that belongs on in a bowl of pasta, not over shaved ice. This is so exciting, especially earlier in the day, walking through the fish market, looking at all that amazing seafood, and finally being able to eat some tonight. And the ingredients that chef is using for this meal comes from that fish market. This is definitely gonna be a treat. So this is the Canura. Everything he served here is very seasonal. It looks like a broccoli rub with egg yolk sprinkled on top. Wow, crunchy, fresh, refreshing, a little bitter, hint of sweetness, and it just soaked in umami-packed dashi. As the fish is being sliced in front of us, little side dishes are popping up. This is a fried rice fish, something that's very seasonal and eaten in the spring. The fish is crispy, and the way they fried it, very, very light. Just a bit of salt. So good. Chase that with some hojicha tea. And this is the soup made from the bones of the fish that we're about to eat. The flavor is so deep. This thing tastes like some kind of magical elixir almost. You know, in the video games when you take a potion and it heals you, I'd imagine it tastes something like this. That's one of the most flavorful broth I've ever had. First fish course, Sea Bream. One is fresh, the other is aged for 5 days. And the chef says to eat this fresh piece first, a little wasabi, sprinkle, a little bit of salt. Just so much anticipation in this first bite of fish. Wow, that's so amazingly fresh. Fish's texture is very
bouncy. It's firm yet tender. A little bit of salt just brings out the hidden sweetness of the fish. And this piece is just gonna be the fresh sea bream again, little wasabi, little soy sauce. The soy sauce obviously brings a bit of robust earthiness. Wow, I think the soy sauce actually highlights the sweetness of the fish even more. And this is the aged 5 days sea bream. Little salt. Wow, the aged sea bream melts in your mouth. Way less of that bouncy texture, more just buttery and melty. I mean, there is a distinct textural difference between fresh and aged. Melts in your mouth. That's ridiculous. This is shirago with sushi rice on the bottom. And the shirago has been poached. It's piping hot, nice and steamy. And the chef says to just mash everything together. Wow, it's so creamy. Never had fugu sperm before. I've had fugu. This might just be the most flavorful part of the fugu for me. The vinegariness of the sushi rice cuts through and balances out the creaminess. Very rich. Out of this world. First piece of nigiri is a young sea bream, little soy sauce. Very mild, a hint of sweetness, more tender, more melting in your mouth than the aged sea bream. It's just eviscerates when it touches your tongue. Wow, like after eating that, my mouth is watering, literally just watering right now. It's that good. This is something I don't think I've ever had before. This fish is called Splendid Alino. It's a deep water fish. I saw this at the fish market today. It's bright red with these ginormous googly eyes. Kind of looks like something out of The Simpsons. This is a very rare fish. That fish is buttery, it's soft with a slight sweet flavor, and that fish is also marinated with some kombu, so you can taste more of the depth, and it brings out more of the sweetness of the fish too. It almost tastes like a delicate piece of cotton candy. They also brought out a fried piece of skin from the Alfonsino. Look at this. Skin with a little bit of fat and meat attached to it. Wow. Skin itself, very crispy. Same mild, delicate. Oh, that meat is sweet. There's a good amount of fat in there as well. Oh, that's so nice. Next piece, yellowtail, boiled in dashi, and inside some miso, radish, and vinegar. I've never seen this at Omakase before. I've never seen this ever. Oh, this is so crazy good. Do not even speak harshly to this yellowtail because it will fall apart. It's so soft and so delicate. The miso and the radish adds a bit of sweetness. Chef said to add a little wasabi to the second bite. I think it's even better with the wasabi. That is something that's truly, truly unique. Absolutely mind-blowing. This is the specialty of the house. That's why he has me hold out my palm and you put it on my palm. And it's Rosy Sea Bass. Are you freaking kidding me with that piece? That's gotta be one of the greatest piece of sushi ever created. It's seared to perfect buttery perfection. The whole thing, including the rice, just melts when it touches your tongue. It's fatty, it's delicate. That is a life-changing piece of sushi. Next piece is squid, and with a little citrus juice on top, and put a little salt on the top as well. That's probably the sweetest piece of the night. Sweet and savory, so tender, a nice bouncy texture as well, with a bit of citrusy aftertaste. So clean, nice. I've never been to a sushi restaurant where between the bites of nigiri, you get little pieces of whatever you were eating, like the fish skin and now the little tentacles of the squid. Oh, that's crazy. So delicate and sweet. A nice smoky flavor. Now comes the tuna that's just been marinating at room temperature. Of course, lean to fat is the way to go. First piece is the akami, the leanest of the 3 pieces I'm gonna have today. Look how beautiful this is. So the chef was just slicing the pieces of tuna with such expert skill. What that does is it really tenderizes the meat even more. I don't think I've ever had akami break apart and melt on my tongue like that before. I would think it's otoro, but obviously it doesn't have the fattiness of it. Oh my god, that's absolutely incredible. Next piece is the chutoro, medium fatty tuna. Looks like beef. I feel like I gotta brace myself. It's like I'm on top of the roller coaster right now, about to go down the first drop. That's how excited I am, and nervous too. Looks like eating tuna ice cream. Well, that actually doesn't sound too good, but it melts just like that. Maybe even faster. Melts in your mouth just like the other piece, with a much fattier flavor that just lingers on your tongue. Last piece, end of the roller coaster, well, the most exciting part, but also the finale, otoro. And if you look closely, you see the intricate, very even perfect knife cuts on this piece of fish. Something I've never seen before. As soon as that thing goes in your mouth, your senses almost just becomes overwhelmed by that fatty marble, wagyu-like consistency. And your tongue just immediately just covered with that delicious fat. That is the most tender, melt in your mouth, rich, delicious piece of fish. It just makes you borderline speechless at how good that is. Next, one of my favorite pieces. This is grilled spinach mackerel, marinated in yuzu. Wow. As soon as you break that piece apart, you see that glistening, juicy, fatty meat, especially the meat right by the skin. So fatty and delicious. Next dish, arc shell clams. Don't think I've ever had this before either. And this is a very beloved ingredient in Asian cooking. It's very snappy. At the same time, it's tender as well. Very fresh, very clean tasting. There's a lot of sweetness in there as well. Well, this is really interesting. I saw the chef slicing these giant scallops. They're seared and put in between nori. It's sweet, it's got a nice chew, and a lot of umami from the sauce and the nori. And this is a pin shell scallop, so it's not a traditional scallop, so it's less sweet, a little more briny. That's nice. This piece is really interesting, and it's a staple in traditional Epitome cuisine. So this is a gizzard shad, also known as a kahara. It's a small, oily fish, and the preparation process is very meticulous. You have to cure it in salt, then marinate it in vinegar. The flavor of that is very distinct. A little tangy, kind of tastes like sardines. Definitely taste the oiliness from the skin of that fish. And the flavor is just very, very robust. That's definitely a standout piece of the night. Next dish, squid with squid roll stuffed inside. Little kelp on the bottom, little mustard on the side. This is one of the most innovative omakase experiences I've ever had. There's so much different flavor and texture in this dish. The squid is nice and snappy. Seaweed, beautifully crunchy. All sitting, tastes like a sweet soy sauce. Oh, that's so nice. Next piece, giant tiger prawn. What's not to like about that? Sweet, plump, snappy, happy. When you see uni popping up in an omakase, it usually signals we're near the end, which is very, very sad, but I'm also super excited for this. This is Hokkaido uni, and if you look on the box, it says 01. That means the chef here got the #1 selection of uni for today. The best, highest quality seafood comes to Tokyo first. So he got the first selection of all the best seafood that came to Tokyo today. So this is the best uni in all of Japan today. That's a shock of a bite. So creamy. Mildly sweet, incredibly rich. That almost tastes like an ocean ice cream. And these are giant pieces of uni. It is literally as good as it gets when it comes to that. Nikito hand roll. This is the greatest thing. This might be the most flavorful bite of food tonight. Crispy seaweed, melt in your mouth, tuna, some daikons, well, wasabi. That is just the ultimate ending to this omakase journey. I mean, there's still one more piece, but that was like the 6th sense ending of an omakase meal. That's so good. Little miso soup. One of a kind miso soup. This is definitely made with that fishbone stock. Ah, the flavor is so rich and deep. Final piece, tamago. So fluffy. And the best part, still one more dessert coming up. Dessert is coffee pudding, but this is really interesting because it's made with coffee beans. This should be brown, but it's white. It is awesome. Wow. I would never think in a billion years, just by looking at this, that this is coffee pudding. One bite, you know it's coffee pudding. Beautifully velvety and soft, wonderful milky coffee flavor, but it looks nothing like coffee pudding. I think the chef actually went to Hogwarts or something. This is pure wizardry. Is what it is. I didn't know anything about Inomai cuisine, and this is my first day immersed in the Inomai experience, especially this omakase journey. As always, guys, I'll put information for the place I went to today in the description box below. This is such an amazing food day. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again, see you later.